going on, Jeromes? Yesterday, Minnesota Vikings defense coordinator Brian Flores said in his press conference that you can never have enough cornerbacks, and it is true. Yes, it's a chicken or the egg thing. Does a good pass rush make for better corners, or does better corner coverage lead to a better pass rush as the quarterback doesn't have time and the pass rush gets home a little bit easier, right? So I think it really is one hand washes the other, but Flores, coming from a DB background, obviously believes in his corners and wants to get some more. And the Vikings certainly could and should be looking in the draft for some cornerback help, especially if things go weird in the first round and maybe they don't trade up for a quarterback. But if the guy on the top of the board at 11 is Terrion Arnold, so be it. Tom Peliserro, Alabama cornerback Terrion Arnold, wrapped up his pre-draft visits on Tuesday with the Eagles. On top of one of the top defensive players in this draft, Arnold also visited with the Titans, Falcons, Vikings, Cardinals, Lions, and Jaguars. And Arnold is probably going to be in the top end of the first round. He is in contention to be the first cornerback taken as well as the first defensive player taken. And honestly, if he ended up in purple, I certainly would not be mad at it at all. Let's talk about Terrion Arnold today. Background, 21 years young, 6 foot, $189, a former 4-star recruit from Tallahassee, Florida. It was kind of a big get because his half-brother is the son of Leon Washington, of course, was Florida State royalty, and him coming from Tallahassee. I mean, Bama getting him out of there and out of the clutches of Florida State, that's kind of a big deal. Former 4-star safety, committed to the Tide. Then played a lot of cornerback over the last 2 years for Nick Saban and company over Saban's last 2 seasons. 2023, as a redshirt sophomore, 88.4 PFF grade, 5 interceptions, 13 passes broken up, a 50.7 quarterback rating when thrown at, which is good. It's pretty damn good. First team All-SEC, first team All-American. Combine-wise, didn't blow the doors off the roof. 4.51 40, 10'9" broad jump, 37-inch vert. Also, I love that a 37-inch vert for a cornerback is only in the 75th percentile. Crazy, ludicrous athletes nowadays, man. But also, here's the thing, too. So Terrion Arnold has such good hips and instincts that, yes, I mean, he ran a 4.5, and that's not top shelf for cornerbacks nowadays. But there are corners that run a 4.3, but they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground in terms of coverage, and maybe they have tight hips as well. So their 4.3 is actually like a 4.8, whereas Arnold, with smooth hips and great football instincts, his 4.5 is a 4.5, or maybe even like a 4.4 in terms of change of direction and on-the-field production. So there you go. So this is kind of funny. So Terrion Arnold at Alabama was apparently like BFFs with Nick Saban's wife, Miss Terry. Now, Miss Terry is actually the head coach of Alabama. She is the queen of Tuscaloosa. She really ran things. And there's a funny excerpt from one of the Saban books. I forget which one specifically. But, all right, so Saban, Miss Terry, high school sweethearts. They're from West Virginia. And they were back there, and they looked at a gas station. They saw a gas station attendant. And Nick Saban was like, aren't you glad you married me instead of him? Otherwise, you wouldn't be married to the head coach at Alabama. And then Miss Terry looked at Nick and just like, if I had married the gas station attendant, he would be the head coach at Alabama. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn fantastic. I love random stuff like that. Anyways, back to Terrion Arnold. NFL.com scouting report from Lance Zierlein. NFL comp, Marshawn Lattimore. So automatically, Terrion would be Justin Jefferson's son. You love to see it. Overview. Twitchy man, cover corner with outstanding athletic ability and the skill set to bring in ball production at the professional level. Arnold possesses average size, but plays with a desired level of aggression and competitiveness in both phases of his job. He's fast and agile to match up against a variety of receiver flavors and on the outside or in the slot. Arnold could squeeze routes tighter from off coverages and limit the yards after catch from a slightly different approach. His closing burst allows him to meet throws at the catch point with a natural feel or playing angles and attacking the receiver's hands. Arnold will make mistakes with positioning and lose focus at times, but the athletic traits and nose for the ball create a quality upside for him to be positioned as a cornerback one within a couple of years. And Arnold, he's a press man savant, mainly played left outside cornerback at Alabama on top of being inside on the slot. He's known as the human incompletion. And also, I feel like, so sort of like Quinton Mitchell, like his closing his closing speed is so good and his instincts are so good that sometimes he baits quarterbacks to make the throw, and then he swoops in and causes a PBU or incompletion. Smooth hips and change of direction, like we said, so that's why his 4.5 really is more like a 4.4. Lives for contested catch spots. Isn't the biggest cornerback in the world, but will fight everyone. Instincts and closing burst, which is great. He loves playing the run, which is something that you love to see, man. Played tough in the biggest games. LSU against Neighbors and BTJ, Georgia against McConkey, Michigan. Former safety who does see the whole field. I think that is important as well. Inside-outside versatility. So a former safety that can play inside and outside. I mean, this guy is just tailor-made for what Brian Flores wants to do on the back end. Also known as a high character and high football IQ player. So those checks those boxes there. And the Vikings... So Flores said yesterday that he wants Murph to be more in the slot, and he played outside last year a lot because he had to. But adding Shaquille Griffin is great. Blackman, I think, really can grow and show year 2. Hopefully we can get something out of Evans and Booth. If not, maybe trade him. Possibility. But I do think that if the Vikings go a different route, say that at 11 they decide not to move up for a quarterback, and maybe they're like, okay, so we can maneuver at 23, move up or move down or stick and pick a little bit and still get our guy, whether it's Penix potentially falling or Nix or Rattler around day 2, something like that, whatever. But if Arnold is a guy at 11, he's the guy at 11, right? And I honestly would not mind it at all, because yes, the Vikings have had sort of poop luck in terms of drafting first-round corners last couple of years, but that should not deter you. If Terrion Arnold has the traits to be a true cornerback 1 and Brian Flores loves him and is pounding the table for him, go get him. Go get your guy. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings meet with Alabama quarterback 1. Terrion Arnold roll Tide. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol production value.